After months of reflection and number crunching, I made what might be the most strategic and, yes, maybe even controversial move of my retirement so far. It goes against conventional wisdom, but it just made sense. Let me show you why. Hey there, I'm Trina. I'm 60, single, and retired almost a year now. Not with millions, but with enough to create a flexible plan that carries me through the gap until Social Security and supports me well beyond it. Every month, I share what's happening in my portfolio and in my life so you can see what real retirement on a modest budget actually looks like. Plus, I also share updates of my YouTube income. Now, if the background looks different, you're not imagining it. Something big happened, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But first, let's look at what happened in my portfolio this month, because that's where the real shift began. Here's where my portfolio numbers landed in July. My money market account is at $37,330. This covers my living expenses and emergency fund. It's held in a high yield account, so it earns a little while it waits. My after-tax brokerage is at $20,860, a slight bump, mostly thanks to dividends. My Roth IRA is at $13,600. That's up 11.5%, which I love, and it's growing tax-free. It's invested in a tech ETF fund. My HSA is at $4,288. No new contributions now that I'm retired, but I'm keeping it invested for future medical expenses. My pre-tax IRA is at $395,900. This is the biggest piece of my portfolio and where I made the biggest shift this month. My total portfolio is at $471,978. Even though my total portfolio is down about $350 from last month, that's expected. I withdrew $3,700 to cover my living expenses just like I planned. The good news? My investments actually grew this month, and that helped offset most of that withdrawal. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's one shift you've made in your retirement plan this year? Drop it in the comments. Let's learn from each other. Let me walk you through the portfolio change I made in July. Now that I'm retired, I need my portfolio to do more than just grow. I need it to work in a way that feels steady and reliable. I'm not chasing big wins anymore. I'm looking for consistency. So I stepped back and asked myself, does my portfolio really match the phase of life I'm in? And the answer was not quite. For a long time, I held a big chunk in high growth tech ETFs. Great when I was working, but a bit too unpredictable now that I'm living off my retirement savings. So I made the choice to sell off some of those riskier holdings and shift into more stable options. Things like income generating CDs and a low-cost bond index fund. It's not about giving up on growth. I still have funds positioned for long-term performance. But now I have a stronger income base to support my monthly withdrawals and reduce stress in these early retirement years. And that gives me some peace of mind. Here's how that all shakes out in my 3-bucket strategy. Here's the numbers rounded up. Bucket 1 provides cash reserves and is currently at $37,330. Bucket 2 provides steady income and is at $305,850. These are in CDs, dividend mutual funds, and bond funds. It's designed to fund several years without tapping growth assets. Bucket 3 is my growth engine, and it holds $124,475, still invested in stock index and tech ETF funds. I'm giving this bucket time to grow, and because I don't need to touch it right now, I can ride out any of the volatility. Now, some of you have asked, why so conservative? And honestly, because this setup helps me sleep at night. I'm prioritizing consistency and flexibility. And once I'm getting Social Security income, I will likely move more back into my growth bucket. Now for a quick YouTube update. Y'all continue to amaze me. We've grown to over 33,000 subscribers. And this month, YouTube income came in at $1,300. I am so grateful. This unexpected income really helps stretch my savings and gives me a little more freedom each month. Okay, now let's circle back to that background change that you might have noticed. Because I sold my house, I'm currently filming from an Airbnb while I wait for my next place to be ready. Now, this wasn't a quick decision. I spent months weighing the pros and cons. Emotionally, it was hard, but financially, it made perfect sense for this phase of my life. The market was hot and I had a lot of equity just sitting there. And honestly, the house no longer fit the life I'm building. I'll break it all down in a separate video with all the details and where I landed next. But here's what I'll say for now. This move might be the single best decision I've made for my retirement so far. What about you? Have you made any shifts in your retirement plan this year, big or small? Drop your update in the comments. Before I go, here's one small change I made back in March that's made a big difference. I set up automatic transfers from my brokerage to my checking account every month. It's simple, but it means my income arrives more like a paycheck on autopilot. And that little sense of control makes my retirement feel a whole lot smoother. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me. I'll see you in the next video where I'll walk you through exactly what selling my home made possible. You won't want to miss it.